सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ Naishkarmya Siddhi, Chapter 3, page number 137, verse number 94. Nirdukkhitvam swata-siddham pratyakshādischa dukkhita ko hyātmānamanādritya vishvaset bāhyamanatah. Sureśvara refuting the Prasankhyanavadi, who is vehemently arguing that meditation is required to attain final knowledge or moksha. By simple Shravanam, Manana Nididhyasanam, it is not possible. Atma Jnanam is not possible. I am Ananda Swarupa. That experience cannot come without prasankhyanam or meditation. Sureśvara says it is not required at all because you are experiencing the dukkha belongs to the mind. It is anatman. Mananam removes doubts. Nididhyasanam, Vedantic meditation, removes all emotional problems, mental problems. That is a triangular format. I am a dasaha. Bhagavan is a Swami. I am victimized by this world, situations, incidents. This triangular format will be replaced by Nididhyasana Abhyasa. Repeated reliving in the teaching, either Brahma-abhyasa Rupa Nididhyasanam or Samadhi Abhyasa Rupa Nididhyasanam. Any one or two you can practice to remove all your emotional obstacles. For that, Acharya said, three principles he introduced. Pramanam is required for knowledge, any knowledge. I am Ananda Swarupaha is a knowledge. You require a pramanam, a means of knowledge. What is pramanam? Pramakaranam pramanam. Whatever gives knowledge is called pramanam. This pramanam is of two types. Before getting knowledge, you require pramanam instead of apramanam. Without a means of knowledge, you can never get knowledge. So, between apramanam and pramanam, what is important? Pramana-siddham jnanam is stronger than apramana-siddham. Without pramanam, you can never get knowledge. Therefore, between apramanam and pramanam, pramanam is stronger. Then second principle, between pramanam also there are two types. One is stronger pramanam and another is weaker pramanam. Weaker pramanam is called durbala pramanam. Stronger pramanam is called prabala pramanam. Among prabala pramanam and durbala pramanam, which one is stronger? You know, prabala pramanam is stronger. Prabala pramanam is stronger than durbala pramanam. Then third principle, between prabala pramanam, for that what example we saw? Pratyaksha pramanam is prabala pramanam. Between durbala pramanam and prabala pramanam, pratyaksha pramanam is prabala pramanam. For that we saw example, there is a fire on the mountain. Is a vyapti, generalization. You got it through pramanam. Because you saw the smoke with your eyes, then you come to conclusion, the knowledge, there is a fire on the mountain. This is anumana pramanam. This is also a pramanam. Now, if you go nearby and see it through pratyaksha, then you come to know this fire is really because of what fire it is. Exactly the fire, what you are, smoke, what you have seen is confirmed and established by the primary pramanam, that is pratyaksha pramanam. Compared to anumana pramanam, pratyaksha pramanam is powerful. That is prabala pramanam. Among these two, next third principle what we have introduced, between prabala pramanam and swatah pramanam, what is powerful? Swatah pramanam is powerful, strongest. Just like the patient knows that I am alive, swatah pramanam. Doctor says patient is out. Many people come and confirm, but patient personally knows that I am alive. Swatah pramanam is more powerful than prabala pramanam also. So, aham brahma asmi, ananda swarupaha asmi is a prabala apaurushaya swatah pramanam. Between apaurushaya and paurushaya pramanam, which one is powerful? Apaurushaya mahavakyam is pramanam. Veda pramanam is apaurushaya pramanam. Aham dukhi, that is your paurushaya buddhi pramanam, pratyaksha pramanam. Dukkhitvam is paurushaya pramanam. It is indriya pratyaksham, bahya indriya pratyaksham, antarindriya pratyaksham. These are all. Anatma is indriya pratyaksham. Your antahkaranam is sakshi pratyaksham. Internal anatma, the mind, antahkaranam, dukhi mind, is experienced by sakshi, sakshi pratyaksham. Bahya prapancha anatma is experienced by that indriyas, sense organs. So, indriya pratyaksha anatma is external anatma, or you can say external anatma is indriya pratyaksham, perceived by sense organs. Antara prapancha anatma, mind, thoughts, emotions are sakshi pratyaksham. Both are anatma only. After talking about the pramanam, prabala pramanam, apaurusheya pramanam, swatah pramanam, your dukkhitvam comes under what? That is indriya pratyaksham, and antara anatma is sakshi pratyaksham. Atma doesn't come under Ananda Swarupaha Aham, doesn't come under neither Indriya Pratyaksham nor Sakshi Pratyaksham. It is Aparoksham. Aham Swata-siddha Ananda Swarupaha Asmi. That you have to understand, because Indriyas have lot of limitations, conditional. They have conditions. Mind also has got conditions. Weaknesses are there. That cannot be the final answer for you. Dukkhitvam is you have superimposed. It is not correct. So up to here we saw in the last class, Atma, you want to cross check your Sukha Swarupa Atma, your doubt, never cross check with Paurusheya Pramanam. Paurusheya Pramanam, your Antakaranam is what? If you take it as a Pramanam, in sense organs are Pramanam, Paurusheya Durbala Pramanam. So never cross check with Paurusheya Durbala Pramana Dwara, never cross check your Ananda Swarupam. Because Ananda Swarupam is Atma Swarupam, it cannot be cross checked by sense organs or mind, etc. Next shloka, introduction. Then he said shloka, who can believe something which is given by that secondary pramanam, something proved by the external pramanam, the secondary pramanam, which intelligent person will miss the Atma. Kaha hi Atmanam anadritya, who can ignore that Atma by taking Vishayehi chet manataha, that outside external pramana, bahyamanata, vishwaset, who can believe, who can trust that bahya pramanam, means external pramanam, means durbala pramanam, paurusheya pramanam, it cannot be reliable. What? Pratyakshadehe dukkhita. The sorrowfulness is direct experience. Pratyaksha pramanena jnatam siddham iti you are telling. Who will go out for that? Dropping the nirdukkhitvam, which is swata-siddham. I am sorrowless. Atma Swarupam swata-siddham, self-evident. Who will drop this? Which ignorant person go for this weaker pramanam, external pramanam, by dropping swataha apaurusheya pramala pramanam? Which an intelligent person can ignore the Atma, Ananda Swarupam? Which intelligent person can ignore? No intelligent person ignore. By taking the external Paurusheya Pramanam, external Pramanam, Bahya Pramanam, and That is Durbala Pramanam. Who will go for that? Dukkhita, their sorrowfulness is proved by your Pratyaksha Pramanam, which is Durbalam Paurusheyam. It is not reliable. Up to here we saw in the last class. Next verse, introduction. Sambandhartha eva api pratyakshabadhena pravrittih pratyagatmani paranchikanityeta tasmat vacho gamyate shrutehi. Now, Sureśvara saying sambandhartha eva. That means that sambandha means anubandhoktihi. Same introduction what has been given to the previous shloka 94, the same introduction alone applies here. That is the idea. We need not go for a new introduction. The same introduction is applied here also. What is the shloka meaning? We go later. Now we'll see what is the idea Acharya presents here. Your sense organs are weaker. It is already said by the Upanishad. The gist of the verse is this. Already your pramanam is Bahya pramanam, weaker pramanam. That is already said by the Upanishad mantra, Kathopanishad. Paranchikani vetruna swayambhuhu parang pashyati na antaratman. Kaschid dhiraha pratyagatmanamakshat avritta chakshur amrutatvam icchan. If you remember this mantra, you can understand the shloka easily. Swayambhuhu, Brahmaji, the creator, made a humanity, sense organs, paranchikani. They go extra, they are extroverted. They go externally, paranchikani. Swayambhuhu vyatranatanar, punished, vyatranatanar, punished the human beings, making their sense organs extroverted. Therefore what? Tasmat parang pashyati. Therefore human beings are extroverted, materialistic. Extroverted sense organs are always more materialistic. The more extroverted, the more materialistic. Shruti is actually unrivaled with Pratyaksha Pramanam. With any Pramanam. Shruti is not contradicting any Pramanam, but you should know the status of that Pramanam, the field of that Pramanam, you have to understand. Even Jivan Mukti, Videha Mukti also only Ahankara based, not Mahavakya Shruti Pramanam based. Therefore you should know the placement they say. Placement, the position of that Vakyam you have to understand. Kaschit dhiraha, only some intelligent people, pratyagatmanam aikshatu, they become introverted and understand the pratyagatma, the inner self. Only mantra, Kathopanishad mantra 211, second chapter, first valley, first mantra. Some intelligent people alone work for inner self knowledge by becoming introverted. Becoming introverted means what? How to become introverted? Shall I close my eyes or look into myself? What way I can do that? That is not the meaning. Introverted means detaching one's mind from the anatma, the materialistic objects. That is called introverted. Or not showing the interest towards materialistic objects, external objects, which are ephemeral, temporary, which are fleeting. Turning away the mind from all those anatma objects and turning the mind towards, not inwards means, inwards, internal means towards Shastram, which Shastra talk about the internal nature of Atma. Carefully we have to understand. Many people becoming introverted means sitting, going to the meditation room and sitting, doing meditation. I become introverted. Closing eyes, shutting that external world from the mind. That is not introverted. Introverted means turning the mind towards Shastra, which Shastra is talking about my internal Swarupa Ananda Atma. That is called introverted. Going towards Shastra and Guru is called introverted. Because when you go towards Shastra and Guru, you are really becoming introverted. That is the real meaning of introverted. What is introverted? Going to Shastra and Guru. Going means now in online Zoom class. Attending the Zoom class is called introvertedness. Because the Guru is speaking in the class about the internal nature of your Atma, which is all-pervading consciousness. This is the real meaning of introvertedness. Otherwise, you will get into chakkar. Introvertedness means Pratyagatmanam-aikshata Avritta chakshurhu amrutatvam-icchan, desiring the immortality of one's own self. Kathopanishad mantra. Desiring the nature of amrutatvam, one's own nature, that person, avritta chakshuhu, he becomes, he divert his attention towards Shastra from the world. But the unintelligent people, parachah kaman anuyanti balaha, te mrutyoho yanti vitatasya pasham, atha dhiraha amrutatvam viditva. Next mantra also Kathopanishad, very important mantras. Unintelligent people go for extroverted materialistic prosperity, and they think that is life, and they again and again they get mortality. Whoever understands this Atma, yena rupam rasam gandham shabdan sparsha gumscha maidhunan etenaiva vijanati kimatra parisishyate etadvaitat. Kathopanishad mantra 213, 211, 212, 213. All these mantras are just extracted here in this mantra. That is why I have taken that much time for those mantras. So the more extroverted, paranchikhani. Now look into the shloka. Second line, khani means sense organs. Para means outwards, external. Anchi means mukhani. that sense organs which are there on the face. So I told you sambandhartha eva means purvokta sambandha eva atra api svikaryaha smaraniyam ityartha. You have to remember. So anatma vishayani, paranchik, para means anatma vishayani, bahya vishayani, anchi mukhani, bahirmukhan, paranchikhani, iti etat. This quotation within inverted commas mantra, iti etasmat vachasaha, from this word of Kathopanishad alone we come to know. We understand what Shruti wants to say. Second line, gamyate shrutehe, vachasaha gamyate, shrutehe vachasaha gamyate. Like that you have to do anvaya. Iti etasmat shrutehe vachasaha gamyate means avagamyate. We understand. What we understand, gamyate means avagamyate, gatyarthaka dhatunam jnanarthakatvat. Avagamyate means we understand. The primary meaning, Shastra comes under primary meaning, pratyagatmani pravrittihi. Pratyaksha vadhena. Pratyaksha dirgham is there, but dirgham is not required. Pratyaksha vadhena. By negating the Pratyaksha pramanam. Badha means negating. Negating the external pramanam. Pratyagatmani pravrittihi. This is the meaning of Avritta Chakshur Amrutatvam Icchan commentary. Pravrittihi Pratyagatmani. Interest, desire to going towards the enquiry of Pratyagatma, the inner self. Pratyaksha badhena. By negating the Pratyaksha. Whatever we see through Pratyaksha is Anatma only. It is not Atma. There is no second pramanam to challenge the Veda pramanam. Where is the question of argument? So the meaning of the shloka, one pramanam cannot contradict the other. One pramanam means pratyaksha pramanam you got through your eyes, through your mind. I am dukhi, I am seeing the world full of sorrows, I am also sorrowful. These are by ears, eyes, etc. This is one pramanam. What is Shraddha in Shastra? One pramanam cannot negate, one pramanam cannot negate the knowledge of the other pramanam. This understanding is called Shraddha. Shraddha means not faith. Faith is means belief. Exact meaning of Shraddha is not faith. Shraddha means Shraddha. If you want to translate it, understanding that a pramanam which gives knowledge cannot be negated by any other pramanam is called Shraddha. That is called Shraddha. Api pratyaksha badhena. Pratyaksha pramanam badhena. So this pratyaksha pramanam in Shabara Bhashyam he writes See, whatever Paurusheya knowledge comes, it can be negated. Mithyatma Nishchayam can be done. Viplavate hi khalvapi kaschit purushakrutaat vachanat pratyayah natu veda vachanasya mithyatve kinchana pramanam asti. That knowledge which you get by Purusha Buddhi or external Pramanam, it can be false also. Last class I said blue sky, blue water, stationary earth, all these are your pratyaksha pramanam, but all are false. That's what Shavara Bhashyakara says. Mithyate kinchana pramanamasti purushakrita. Purusheya pramanam artham. Purushakrita means. Therefore what dukkhitvam is not your real nature. Nirdukkhitvam alone is your real nature. Because pratyagatmani, because by knowing your inner self, that is the subject matter of Mahavakya. Atma is Swata-siddha Ananda Swarupam. It is the witnesser of the sorrow. Dukkhitva Sakshinar. Atma nirdukhi, dukkhitva sakshinar. I am the witnesser of that dukkha which is happening in the mind. I am not, witnesser can never be witnessed. Witnesser can never be witnessed. So what? You have to accept this. The Shabara Swami's statement here also, the pramana cannot be contradict the other pramana. So Shraddha is that. Pratyagatmani. Kathopanishad pramana is very powerful. Paranchikani vetrana swayambhuhu. Etasmat vachasaha avagamyate. Even your pratyaksha anubhava is refuted, negated by primary pramanam. Pratyaksha pramanam is secondary pramanam. Now let us analyze what is the difference between belief and blind belief. So what is the definition of belief? So secondary pramanam means what? Primary pramanam what? Secondary pramanam is that which can give knowledge. That knowledge can be confirmed or contradicted by primary pramanam. That is called secondary pramanam. A secondary pramanam is that which gives knowledge to you. That knowledge can be confirmed or contradicted by another primary pramanam. Like Parvataha Vandiman, Anumana pramanam is the secondary pramanam. Pratyaksha pramanam is the primary pramanam there. Pratyaksha pramanam is secondary pramanam again, and Shastra pramanam is the primary pramanam. So faith or belief can be applied only with regard to the secondary pramanam. Faith or belief can be applied only with regard to secondary pramanam, not that primary pramanam. So there is an elephant on the road. If I say, I made a statement, you can go and verify it. You can verify it. First you believe it, whatever I say. There is an elephant. But you accept it and you believe it. It is verifiable. You go and see whether it is there or not, you can verify. So the belief, what is the definition of belief? So Paurusheya Shabda Pramanam you can verify, confirm or contradict by primary Pramanam. This we have to understand. Then with regard to secondary Pramanam, you can have a belief or blind belief. With regard to a secondary Pramanam, you can have a belief or blind belief. What is the definition of belief? Then what is the definition of blind belief? Mudha nammakam they say, blind belief. Andha nammakam, bodha nammakam they say. First belief definition we have to see. When knowledge is, you accept, when you accept your knowledge without verification. When knowledge is gained through a pramanam, through secondary pramanam, you accept that knowledge without verifying, without questioning, with any primary pramanam. Even it is verifiable, you won't want to verify it. Therefore, without verifying, you accept, it is called belief or faith. Without verifying, even though verification is available, you don't verify, but you believe that knowledge, whatever you acquire through secondary pramanam, that is called faith or belief. Therefore, faith and belief can be enjoyed only with regard to the secondary pramanam. Faith or belief can be enjoyed only with regard to secondary pramanam. Acceptance without verification is called belief. Acceptance without verification. Now, blind belief means, what is blind belief? Acceptance of a verifiable knowledge, acceptance of a verifiable knowledge given by a, again, secondary pramanam, secondary source of knowledge, even when that knowledge is contradicted, verifiable with another secondary pramanam or any other primary pramanam. It is contradicted by another secondary pramanam. It is our primary pramanam, that knowledge, but you accept it in spite of logical objection. Like heaven. Heaven is eternal. But you don't accept the logical pramanam, yukti pramanam. When heaven is eternal, you believe it. Knowledge is coming through someone, some grantha you can take. So somebody says, again it is contradicted, it is not eternal. Tetam bhuktva svargalokam vishalam shrine punya martyalokam vishanti. You will come back, it is not eternal, your punya goes away, you will come back. Who will listen that? Everybody thinks Swarga is permanent. So the yukti, whatever you got by punya in course of time, by karma phalam, you have to exhaust it. You will come back. That is the yukti. That is the logic. But when logic is available and that contradiction, that logical statement is contradicting the heaven is eternal, but I accept that heaven is eternal in spite of this yukti statement, logical statement. If I accept that heaven is eternal, it is called blind belief. That means when verification is available and that verification primary pramanam is telling, contradicting the secondary pramanam, first knowledge what you have got, but you are not accepting that second primary pramanam, you are holding on to the old, your own Secondary pramanam knowledge is called blind belief. Artham. If you hold on to that view, heaven is eternal. But logical statement you don't accept. That is yukti pramana, you don't want to accept. Secondary pramana, somebody said heaven is eternal, always you can get. No? Some religions, they say you go to heaven, you enjoy there. Like that they are telling. We also says, but it is not eternal. For them it is eternal. Therefore they are all called what? Vadigattina muttal anartha. Dull-witted people. That is called blind belief. People have blind belief. So what is the difference between belief and blind belief? Finally, acceptance of a knowledge coming from secondary source, secondary pramanam or secondary source of pramanam without verification, accepting that knowledge is called belief. Blind belief is that acceptance of knowledge coming from secondary pramanam, even when it is contradicted by another pramanam, I believe, accept it, it is blind belief. In spite of contradiction. Heaven is not eternal, contradicting the first heaven is eternal. But you don't want to listen to that second statement, heaven is not eternal. You hold on to the first statement, heaven is eternal, in spite of logical pramanam. That means blind belief. This is the difference. Shraddha is neither belief nor blind belief. Understand now? Shraddha means it does not come under neither belief nor blind belief. So belief and blind belief come under secondary pramanam. They come under the topic of secondary pramanam only, not primary pramanam. Our Shastra is not secondary pramanam. You are Ananda Swarupaha is the primary pramanam. Mahavakya is telling. I am Dukhi, how much I study Shastra, I am not having Ananda, I am suffering. What is the use of studying Shastra? Means there is something wrong in your understanding. What is fact? Fact is that there is no rivalry between Vedanta and Pratyaksha. That is the corollary of this shloka. There is no rivalry between or contradiction between Pratyaksha and what? And Shastra. Pratyaksha and Shastra, there is no rivalry. So what you have to understand now? Vedanta is talking about Prabala Svatasiddha Apaurusheya Pramanam. Vedanta is talking about Atma Swarupam. You are talking about Anatma, the mind, which is Paurusheya Durbala Pramanam, not Svatasiddha Pramanam. It is conditioned. When you are in waking state, when you are in sleep state only, deep dream state only, you are experiencing dukkha. In sleep it is not there. Therefore conditioned it is. Now we'll go to the next shloka. Srutehi etasmat vachasaha vachasaha sakarantaha napumsakalingaha vachas shabdaha. Next one. Verse number 96, introduction. Abhyupagamya evam uchyate natu pramanam sat pramanantarena virudhyata iti asakrit avochama yatrapi vakya pratyakshayoho virodhāśaṅka tatrapi purushamoha Vashadeva sa jayate natu paramarthatah iti ataha aha. Now finally pratyaksha virodha pariharaha. Purvapakshi says your Mahavakya is Ananda Swarupaham Brahma. Mahavakya is having pratyaksha virodha. He is go on and on telling. So Sureśvara says pratyaksha virodha is not there at all. Paramarthataha. Looking into the lines, abhyupagamya evam muchyate. Having taken that abhyupetyavada in previous verses, if at all the dukkham is there, if it is real, it cannot go. If that dukkham is established by pramanam, it will not go. Like that abhyupetyavada assumption we have done, abhyupagamya evam muchyate. Now final conclusion is this. Natu pramanam sat pramanantarena viruddhyata iti. One pramana, whatever knowledge it gives, cannot be negated. Pramanantarena, by different pramanam, na viruddhyata iti, cannot be contradicted. Whatever eyes give the knowledge, ears cannot come and refute. So whatever Shastra says you are Ananda Swarupam, can it be negated by your Pratiksha Anubhava? I am Dukhi. Shastra is telling lies. I am not interested in Shastric words. In spite of studying Shastra for a long time, my Dukkha has not gone. Therefore, I am not going to trust the Shastra. If you say how foolish you are comparing Pratyaksha and Shastra Pramanam, Shastra Vakya Pramanam. Don't cross-check like that. Antarena, Anya Pramanantarena, na viruddhyata iti. Asakrit avochama, again and again, repeatedly. Asakrit means repeatedly, again and again. Avochama, we have been telling again and again, repeatedly. Yatra api, if at all that difference you are seeing, Pratyaksha is viruddham to Shastra Anubhava, Ananda Nirdukhyatvam Dukkhitvam. Dukkhitvam is sorrowfulness is Pratyaksha Anubhava, you are telling. Shastra is telling Ananda Swarupam you are, Sukha Swarupam. Nirdukhi, Shastra says. Yatra api, even that Vakya Pratyakshayoho. Vakya says what? You are Ananda Swarupam. Pratyaksha says you are Dukkha Swarupam. Virodhaha, Ashanka, if you have that contradiction, that doubt is there, if at all, that doubt, Tatra api, even that doubt is also Purusha Moha, your delusion, my dear. Purusha Moha Vashadeva, because of your delusion only, nothing else. Sa, that Shanka, that doubt, Sa Jayate, that doubt is Purusha Moha Vashadeva, Sa Jayate. That Shanka, Sa Shanka Jayate, that doubt arises. Natu Paramarthataha, not really, not factually. Paramarthataha. The conflict between Pratyaksha and Shruti is not genuine. Paramarthataha na. It is not real. Ataha, therefore, aha. The following shloka is going to be explained that idea only. We'll read the shloka. प्रमां चेज्जनयेत् वाक्यं प्रत्यक्षादिविरोधिनीं गौणीं प्रत्यक्षतां ब्रूयां मुख्यार्थासंभवात् बुधः. वाक्यं प्रत्यक्षादि विरोधिनीं जनयेत्. प्रमां जनयेत्. वाक्यं means महावाक्यं. तत् त्वम् असि महावाक्यं. So ज्ञानम deals with atma, ahankara deals with anatma. Ahankara deals with anatma. Krishna said, prakashancha pravrittincha mohameva cha pandava. So really speaking, such an doubt, contradiction are never possible, but vakyam pratyakshadi virodhinim. Mahavakyam is contradicting your pratyaksha anubhava. Mahavakya says you are Ananda Swarupam, but your pratiksha, that statement, Ananda Swarupam statement, contradicting my direct experience. I am a dukhi. Morning if I get up, I have lot of sorrows, lot of their bubbling coming out one by one. Pratyakshadi virodhinim pramam jayate. That knowledge comes, suppose. Vakyam pratyakshadi virodhinim pramam janayet chet. Janayet chet. If that vakyam, mahavakyam, generate pratyaksha virodha, that means your direct experience is dukkhitvam. Shastra class Swamini says you are Ananda Swarupam. This knowledge, pramam janayet chet. Such contradiction, doubt comes in your mind. Then what? Pratyakshatam gaunim bruyam. That pratyaksha anubhava is gauni. Gauni means what we saw in yesterday's class. Guna sambandha is there. Emotional problems, whatever defects are there in the mind, you are applying to yourself. Gauni. Not mukhyartha. It is not primary. Dukkhita, it is gauna, not primary meaning. Gaunartha. Gaunartha. Lelayati iva, dhyayati iva, dukhi iva. I am not a dukhi. The lower I is the dukhi, as though that lower I is superimposed upon me, the higher I, and I say I am dukhi. That is only superimposition, not primary meaning. Mukhyartha it is not mukhyartha sambhavat buddhaha. Asambhavat. Mukhyartha plus asambhavat. Primary meaning is not that. Wise people, buddhaha, it is not primary, says it is not primary meaning, but it is secondary meaning. What is secondary meaning? Your pratyakshatam, your pratyaksha anubhava is the gaunartha, because mukhyartha cannot occur there. Why? Primary meaning mukhyartha is you are Ananda Swarupa. If you say I am Dukhyana, it is Gaunam. Next shloka 97. Introduction. Tasyarthasya sukha Pratipatyartham udaharanam tasya arthasya. This meaning, Sukha Pratipatyartham, to understand easily. To understand easily, for that example is given in the following verse. Now, these slokas are simple. Prasankhyanavadi, total Pratyaksha Virodha Parihara is over. Therefore, Tattvamasi Mahavakya is of higher order of reality. Aham Dukhi, Dukhitvam, Pratyaksha Anubhava is lower order of reality. Satta Bheda is there. That point is not said here, you can supply. Satta Bheda is there. A different order of realities. One is Vyavaharika Satyam. I am Dukhi is Vyavaharika Satyam, relative order of reality. You cannot stop the Dukkha, whatever is happening in the mind. Accept that mind as a Dukhi only. Mind is never free from sorrow, 100%. Impossible. That is what is the intelligent way of living in. Accepting the mind in its defects, its fluctuations, whatever happening in the mind, you have to look at the mind as a third person. Don't combine your mental problems, issues. There are umpteen issues in the mind. Without your knowledge, they arise. So look at the mind, it is false, anatma. Whatever is happening in the mind is not belong to me. Nothing to do with me, the Atma. That is called disidentification with the mind. Once you disidentify or detach with the mind, what will happen? That mental problems, issues, all types of sorrows born out of ignorance, ajnana, abhimana, dehabhimana. After knowledge, you accept them as they are. I am not going to resist them. Okay, my mind alone is having some issues. Why issues? Worldly, relative world level, vyavahara, when body is interacting, indriyasya arthe ragadveshau vyavastitau eva. So likes and dislikes will happen, and so many types of fluctuations happen in the mind. All of them, why I connected to my inner Ananda Swarupam? Why to connect it? Because I am not clear with Ahankara I, lower I, and higher I, OC. This sort out job, if I do clearly, I am not affected by those ahankara caused mental fluctuations. I will never bring them to this higher order of reality. That is called clarity. If I have that clarity, I never compare. I enjoy. It's like a movie. Body pains, it is like a movie. Emotional problems, movie. Intellectual limitations, a movie. Every movie like serial like I watch. The more I distance my anatma, body, mind complex and its limitations, the more I can enjoy the jnana phalam. That is real moksha. There is no real Jivan Mukti or Videha Mukti other than this understanding. Understanding that nothing else is required other than understanding is real understanding more in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.